Hi, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You were listening to the Morning Edge webinar. Yeah, I was just chatting with the guys in the chat room about the lure function. The thing about that Pokemon Go is that there's a thing that's called a lure function um, in the Pokemon game. And I know, and I don't want to talk about Pokemon much more, but I got to say this because my wife, for those of you that don't know this, my wife, she has her own business, but before she had her own business, she's a child counselor. So she worked with kids that had been, abuse victims, broken homes, that type of thing. So she's real sensitive to the subject of child predators and whatnot. And the thing about child predators is they're well, first of all, if there should be any justification for public hangings to be reinitiated in the United States, I would be all about public hanging anybody who was a child abuser. Personally, if you guys ever want to hear my own personal views about something like that, if anybody is a child abuser, um, uh, sexually or any other way, they should actually be publicly hung. That would be and I'm I feel very strongly about that. Um, but anyway, so this game has a function of allowing people to, you can lure with Pokemons, you can lure people. And so now you have predators, which of course predator, probably the lowest scum on the face of the planet. Okay, they're luring kids and luring Pokemon users for, to lure kids to them. It's just really, it's kind of it's a function that needs to be fixed in that game, in my opinion. And what they should have is that lure function should be only for businesses. So if you're a registered business and you have a storefront, you can lure people into your stores, to I think that'd be a great function. But man, unfortunately, predators are going to jump at the first thing that they can do to do that. Anyway, so sorry, I didn't mean to get off on that tangent. But hey, we're going to get started on our analysis because I can go down a really dark path that I don't want to go down, so I'm not going to. If it started talking about child sexual predators and 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 public punishment, and public hangings, I can go down a very dark path that I don't really need to go down today. So let's not go there. I'm going to stop right where we're at, and let's talk about the euro. How about that? Yeah, Brian said with some creativity, it could be used to actually catch predators. Right? It could. It really could. You know, you're actually right. You're actually right. Um, but anyway, sorry, I needed to actually start focusing on FX. So here's the euro, and what Paul was talking about earlier today. He had mentioned the markets and the doldrums. Hey, I'll tell you, when you're talking about the euro dollar really, there's just not a whole lot going on, and he's absolutely right about Friday's price action. Friday's price action, really killed everybody. I mean, it took, um, um, traders on both sides of the market on Friday, and and then we tried to, just yesterday, tried to push back above the highs, and I ended up shorting the euro. Excuse me, ended up shorting the euro up here. I closed yesterday right about where we're at 110.75, like later on in the afternoon. I did not, wait around to make the other 20 pips down here. And for me, I look at the euro dollar as a simple range. And I know Paul is like, hey, you can short it higher if it breaks out of the range. It may, and it could, but frankly, I feel that we have there's a couple things that's working for the dollar at the moment. Now, first of all, the strong jobs report on Friday I mean, it was a strong jobs report. Let's just, call it what it was. It was a really, really strong jobs report. Yeah, the unemployment rate came down a bit, but remember, unemployment at 7%, or excuse me, at unemployment at 5% or whatever. It's still very, very, very strong employment. So I think I think that you have working for the dollar as it is, especially wearing off from the non-farm payroll from last week. But really, what's more important right now is the fact that the stock market continues to grind higher. Now, have you guys noticed recently, and in recent the last couple of weeks, the dollar is the safe haven currency of choice, right? It's the safe haven currency of choice. Okay. So if the market is seeing risk on, which it is, obviously, when the stock market goes up, the euro dollar is going higher too, because the dollar is easing from that, that risk off safe haven type of play. So if the stock market goes down from here, I suspect that the euro dollar is going to eventually break down. Okay. So if you guys think that, oh, well, the stock market's overpriced and it's going to go down from here, we're done breaking out, we're going to start coming down, well, then, the euro is probably going to start breaking down too. So I wouldn't, I do agree that we're in a range trade right now with the euro, but I think the only reason why the euro is in a range right now is because stocks keep going higher and it's not allowing the dollar to rally. If stocks pull back, the dollar is probably going to start to rally. That means the euro starts to break down. So for today, I'm still going to mark up resistance as 111, 111.10, okay, and support at 110. I'm not really interested in trading the euro right now unless we get back to 111. It is still in a bearish trend. I know you guys are like, well, aren't we range bound? We are, but in all actuality, the euro dollar is trying to make its way lower, and we're trying to break down. It's just very, very tight right at the, you know what? Hold on one second. Let me see. I see something. Stand by. Yeah, I want to make sure I'm looking at this correctly, or what I view as correctly. I don't know if is correct or not, but sometimes you just got to take a brand new look at things. Huh. We're gonna leave it at that for right now. Crap. I was just short the pound yen before I started the morning edge, and I closed it out for like 40 pips. I shorted the pound yen on this failed breakout right here. Gosh darn it. What a dummy. I shorted it right here at 139.35, 32 right here after we got this little failed break higher. And I closed it already, but I should have just stayed short. God dang it. That's all right. It's okay. It's all right. All right, let me go back to the euro dollar. I'm already in and out, guys. I told the guys in the chat room I already closed it out for 40 pips, but I could have squeezed another 20, 25 out of it. In this environment, trying to squeeze 20, 25 pips out of it's it's important important if you can get it. Okay, so what we can do here is look at the euro as maybe tightening in this range. So still 111 and change would be a good short, because I think just to keep it with symmetry. Symmetry is important right now, especially if we're tightening in a range. You can do this and say, well, maybe it's like that, and it could very well be, but I actually think if we are tightening, it's like this, okay? So I'd rather be short right there, okay? If we can get it. I don't know if we're going to get it, but that's what I'm thinking. Okay. And if we actually break through 110, maybe we start a continuation lower. But I think below 112, we're still bearish. Okay. Remember, we broke down there following the Brexit, and you have to think about everything that's happening in the Eurozone. You got Italian banking problems. You got now Spanish issues that are starting to arise. You've got the post-Brexit fears. There's a lot of things that are weighing on the euro dollar. So I definitely don't want to be bullish. I want to be bearish. I'd rather sell into spikes for right now, because obviously you can see that we're in some sort of consolidation phase. Okay, let's go back over the cable. All right, so here's the pound. The pound's made a hell of a recovery. It has. And let me get rid of this really quick. Let me get rid of all this stuff. The pound's made a hell of a recovery, but much bigger recovery than I thought it was going to make. But also note that we are below, see this weekly support? That's at 135. And I'm going to say it, and I'll say it again. As long as we sit below 135, okay, so as long as we continue to stay below 135, this pair is bearish. Okay, I know you get some recoveries from time to time, and a lot of these recoveries, they feel like, oh my God, it's a reversal. When you're in a downtrend, in a sharp downtrend and a steep downtrend, the recoveries always feel like reversals. The bounces always feel like reversals. You know what I mean? They always do. So just knowing that, oh my God, it's, I mean, I can't tell you how many times in my career I've seen a strong downtrend and these sharp recoveries, everybody goes, that's it, the bottom's in, bottom's in, bottom's in. You know what I mean? Bottom's in. I'm not confident of that. I don't know if you guys realize this, but the UK people did vote on a Brexit. What the implications moving forward are unknown. That in itself is going to keep downside pressure on the cable. You will have recovery rallies. Look, I played the pound long. How many of you guys are long? How many of you guys are long the pound New Zealand? Any of you guys still long the pound New Zealand from the last couple of days? I bought the pound New Zealand like what, on Monday? I got out of it last night. I took almost 200 pips out of it. Look, I'm going to play the pound to the upside, maybe not the pound dollar, but I'll play the cable to the upside from time to time. All right? But I'm not going to sit here and not, and ignore the fact that we're in a really strong downtrend. Now, as you guys know, I'm really hoping for a move down to 125. I don't know if we're going to get it. Maybe this is the bottom. It could be. It could be the bottom. It may be the absolute bottom. Then again, maybe we make that final stab to 124, 125, which I think we're going to do. All right. I'm not convinced right now that the downtrend has reversed. We get above 135, especially 135.50 right here. I'm going to start saying, all right, we're in a sideways trend. But for right now, this freaking thing is still bearish. All right, it is. Now, does that mean I want to short it right now? No. No, it doesn't. Take this most recent peak down to the lows. 786 retracement comes in at 33.78. These highs right here are obviously very significant right now. So 133.80. If we get a continued rally today for whatever reason, because Theresa May is getting sworn in today, she takes over. Great. We get to 133.80, that's probably going to be a great short up there. All right, let's take a look at where support is. Now, support for the cable, let's go out to an hourly. Let's try to. All right, what the hell? There's the 4 hour. Dude, what's up with my charts? Okay, there they are. All right, so there's a 15-minute. Here's an hourly. All right. So, support. I'm going to tell you this right here. Oh. I think we can just keep it just like that. I'm going to actually have to tweet this chart. Sorry, guys. What's today's date? 13th? It's the 13th already. Summer's almost over. Not really. What pair are we looking at? Oh, pound. Okay. My comments are going to be if you're long the bank, if you are long the pound ahead of the BOE tomorrow, keep this intraday chart on your radar. Let me post that chart really quick. What's today's date? 7/13. 7/13. Not 17/13. 7/13. There we go. All right. All right. Yeah, I think you got to be careful because if we crack 132.20, thing turns instantly stop run worthy. Okay, it's going to be really key support for bulls right there. Got it? Good. Okay, where are we at? Let's go over to the. I got to go a little faster. Dollar Swiss. The dollar Swiss is getting hit today. So that means the Euro Swiss was coming down pretty good. Oh yeah. That means the market, in my opinion, if we're higher right now, and we're seeing this come in, I think the market's getting a little bit more risk averse than it's leading us on to believe. I don't like that. I don't like that action. If you're long equities, the last thing you want to see right now is the Euro Swiss doing what it's doing. I'm just saying, it's sniffing out something. So here's the dollar Swiss. So, hold on. Now, Forex Analytics, there's a new harmonic pattern on the Swissies. So let me see. Bearish Gartley. Okay. And that's reversed pretty good since then. Okay. So that was probably Nick. Okay, that means this is 127% extension, right? Yep, sure was. Huh, okay. That means this support is going to be really important today. Where am I at? Oh, there we go. Okay, so this support at 97.95. 97.95. And resistance is going to be 98.95. 98.95. And that is a range. Okay. All right, let's go into the yen really quick. I'm going to do the yen before we take a little bit of a breakout. I should have been moving a little faster. I just been moving slow this morning because I started talking about Pokemon Go and child predators. See, just types of conversations we should have first thing in the morning. Really ruffle my feathers. Let's see. Did I just do that? I did. I did not mean to delete all of my lines for the dollar yen. Gosh darn it. Okay. Crap. Hold on. I have to draw a couple things. I did not. That was so accidental. All right. So that's how significant 105.50 is. As you guys know, well, maybe you don't know, I'm short the dollar yen right now. Okay. I am short the dollar yen at 62. We have a Gartley pattern here, just so you know. Okay. We're getting overshoots because, obviously it's the dollar yen, so things are a little nutty right now. Right? So I know everybody's going to try to sell at 105.50, but knowing that, I don't think we get above 105.15 because everybody's trying to sell the dollar yen at 105.50. So therefore, I don't think we're going to reach it. Okay. Actually, I should put 105 and 104. Okay. Let's see. 104. 105. Okay. We're in a range. Okay. I'm going to do the Canadian really quick. Well, you know what? I'm going to take my time on the Canadian. We got the Bank of Canada today, so I'm actually going to take my time here. So when I come back, we're gonna actually move kind of fast when I get back. But don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks, everyone. All right, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I hope everybody's doing well, and let's go ahead and go over to the U.S. dollar Canadian. Okay, so today we have the Bank of Canada. Now, the market's not expecting any moves from the Bank of Canada today. They're expecting rates to stay unchanged. As Paul said, and I agree, some people think that the Bank of Canada could have a little bit of a dovish spin now that we're seeing crude oil prices ease off a bit. Yeah, possibly. I guess. I think the Bank of Canada is going to be really more of a non-event. I'm still long the dollar Canadian, by the way. My cost average is 130.70 basically, and I'm just sitting in it. I'm down a little bit in my position, but nothing that's worrying me too bad, especially after the big rally that we saw in crude. I'm not as worried about it at this point. But what I am on the lookout for is I'm obviously looking for hopefully for a breakout here. Now, if you look at the dollar Canadian, this is going to be really critical support today. Is going to be 129.80. I definitely do not want to see us trade below that. I don't. We could, for sure. Especially if the Bank of Canada is very nonchalant about anything, and it seems like they have no cares in the world. That would be a problem. And so below 129.80 would be extremely bearish, and I would not When I say extremely bearish, I mean that if we get below 129.80, we're going to go back to 127, 128. You know, we're coming back down here, and I'm not going to like that, frankly. Okay, we have to clear 132 really to turn this thing bullish, but at this point, we can't even get above 131.20. So 131.20 is significant resistance, and we're going to be stuck right in the middle. I'm assuming you guys know I'm a big one of the things that I always tell you guys, and what I'm a big believer in is before a critical event, before some sort of big, whether it's jobs report or in this case a interest rate decision, you end up mid-range. So this is mid-range. 131.20, 129.80, we're mid-range. It's about where we're going to end up being. Okay, all right, and we are in a range for right now, but we could break out, we could break down today following the BOC. Bank of Canada has been notoriously, really in the last couple of meetings, they've been more hawkish than the market was expecting. But I think the fact that crude is really backed off of $50 might change their tune a little bit. All right, let's go over to the Kiwi. So the Kiwi back up at 73 cents. God, this is actually... I'm just looking at equities right now. You know what? I sold some Kiwi. I don't mind being short up here, guys, just so you know. I just sold some at 99. Yes, I did. It's that hanging man candle. On the daily right now, it's so early, so it's not, it's obviously that can change quite a bit. But there's a 4-hour. I just sold some Kiwi right here. I don't mind being short up here, and but at the same time, I am aware that we can make it up towards highs. We can actually make it up to, hold on. We stopped at the 127% extension. Is that David Cameron? Oh, he's saying his piece. Speaking right now. Okay. 73.30 is possible. And support is at 72 cents. It's significant. We're still in a range. Actually, I can write down 72.35. Okay. Let's go over to the Aussie. Okay, so here's the Aussie dollar. Now, the Aussie, we have to be very aware of the possibility of a false breakout yesterday. Now, it's not anything that's going to be too significant until we get down here, if we get down there, but that false breakout could set up a double top moving forward. this is a little bit easier to read than the Kiwi actually right now. 75, 75, 75, 60. This is a tight range, guys. Here, I'll just do this. Because it doesn't matter how you draw it. You can draw it like that. You can draw it like this. It doesn't really matter. 75, 75, 76, 55. 75, 75 is support. 76, 55 range. And we can probably just wait for a breakout here. Dollar index. Grab a drink of my coffee, excuse me. Okay. All right. Dixie. Okay, so here's the dollar. Oops, what is this? I was drawing this yesterday. Oh. In the event that we get a rally here, in the event the dollar breaks out, something I was looking at yesterday. I'll delete it now. Look at how we're just pausing on this, every dip on this trend line. Boom, boom. 96 and a quarter. God, it seems like I write that down a lot. 96.25. And resistance. $96.80. That's significant. We're in a range. Okay, let's take a look at the peso. So here's the peso. Well, what happened? What happened to my charts from yesterday? Did they not save? Huh. I don't think they saved from yesterday. Damn it. I'm still long a little bit of peso. Oops. So we had our double top, boom, boom, neckline, completion, almost to the pip, reversal, backing off. So that means support significant, 1826. 1826. And I don't know if you guys, the support we wrote down yesterday was 1826. And you know where the low was yesterday? 1826.37. For a currency pair like this that trades that, wider ranges and everything, yeah, that was a pretty good call on support. I must say. All right. We're obviously finding some resistance here. I mean, resistance is all the way up here, but right now, for today, resistance will be 1841. Okay. And we are in a range. Okay, let's go over to where are we at? Norwegian krona. Now, the Norwegian krona, I actually feel like I need to be long this right now. Hold on really quick. Because, and I'm not long, so. To me, it seems like a very, very manageable risk entry right now. I did buy a little bit. I just bought a very little bit at 841.20. Just a small position. Um, because we're making a higher low on this hourly here, but we could drop a little further. Obviously, we can drop to the 618. So I'm going to write down 838. If it gets much below 838, I'll just give up on it. But resistance is right here, and resistance is futile. 846. US dollar, Swedish krona. So hold on. What happened overnight? Let me double check something. So overnight, do we have some strong Norwegian numbers? No. No. Nothing. Interesting. Oh, we came off really aggressively too. I don't know why. Probably the reason why we came off is just, people bearish the dollar or something at the moment. But anyway. I'm going to write down 840 and 860. Nothing. There's not a whole lot to do here, I don't think, in the U.S. dollar Swedish krona at the moment. All right, guys, your bias chart's done. Finished. I'm going to take some questions here in just a second, but I'm in this dollar yen, and I don't even know if I want to be.